Examples of redox reaction. Actually, don't confuse with oxidation, reduction and redox. I already said, now you know what is oxidation. What is oxidation is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. And what is reduction? Reduction is the removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen. Sometimes in a reaction both will happen, which means simultaneously oxygen will be added, at the same time oxygen will be removed, or sometime hydrogen will be added, sometime hydrogen will be removed. So both will happen. Such reactions are called what? Redox reaction. Look at this example. CH4 plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O, which means CH4 methane, we know methane is a hydrocarbon, it is a fuel. When all the fuel reacting with oxygen means what? Burning. So all the fuel on burning, we are getting carbon dioxide and water. So look at this. Here it's very important, this one. CH4. There's two arrows. Look at that. Methane is converting into what? Methane is CH4. From CH4, hydrogen is removing, and who is adding? Oxygen is adding. And now look at this one. Here it is O2. This is a balanced one. These two you can neglect. Look at O2. O2 is converting into what? H2. Hydrogen is adding, but one oxygen is removing. So how can we write that? Look at the first one. Removing hydrogen, oxygen is adding. We know removal of hydrogen or addition of oxygen is called what? Oxidation. Now look at here. O2 was there. Who is adding? Addition of hydrogen, or O2 become O. So both happening, right? Which means what? Removal of addition of hydrogen as at the same time removal of oxygen. So that is called a reduction. So sometimes some reactions both will happen. Such reactions are called what? Redox reactions. Understood or not? Okay. So like that we can mention this. Okay, what is the definition of redox reaction? So for further examples, just keep in mind one or two examples. Later you write some exercises or some examples will be right later. So redox reaction means both oxidation and reduction takes place. That is called what? Redox reaction. So if you want one or two example also, I think you just listen. I already sent one study material before. Where is your study material? That study materials contain the summary notes as well as some question answers. From there also you will get some questions. If you want, you can solve that. Yes, here question number 3. Copper oxide reacting with the hydrogen, and we are getting copper and H2. Okay, so that reaction for you I will show that. 1 second. So I am writing that equation. Copper oxide reacting with hydrogen, we are getting copper plus water. So look at this one. Look at carefully. Copper oxide is converting into what? Copper, which means just make an arrow. So here and this also. Now look at carefully what happening. Oxygen is there from copper. That oxygen is removed. What is the removal of oxygen? Removal of oxygen is called what? Reduction. Now look at hydrogen. From hydrogen H2, no oxygen was there. Now at last oxygen is added. That is addition of oxygen. That is called what? Oxidation. So look at in this reaction both oxidation and reduction happen. So we can call it as what? So this is a redox reaction. We can call it as a redox reaction. Now I hope you understood what is redox reaction. Now one important thing I am going to introduce. It's very important. Just listen. So one more reaction I am going to write, just because then you will be understood. That we can write that iron reacting with steam, H2 in the gas. First chapter I think we studied this equation. And react with the steam, we are getting Fe3O4 plus hydrogen gas will be liberated, H2. Now look at here what happening. Here it is iron. Iron become what? Oxygen is adding, right? Oxygen is adding. So just make an arrow. Now look at H2O become H2. So what happening there? Oxygen is removing. So what? Just write which reaction happening in here? Iron oxide, addition of oxygen, that is called what? Oxidation. H2O become H2, which means oxygen is removing at last. So we can call removal of oxygen is called what? Reduction. So two examples I written for what? These two reactions I written for redox reaction. Now one important thing, I am consider these two equations. This is redox reaction. Now concentrate on the first equation. Here this is reduction, this is oxidation. Now two reaction, na? Here oxidation happening, reduction happening. Now my question is, in your examination also they will give one or two reaction, then they will be asked identify which substance is oxidized and which substance is reduced, or which reagent is undergo oxidation reaction and which substance is undergo reduction reaction. My question understood? Which substance is oxidized and reduced? Look at the first equation. Can you say in this first equation which substance is oxidized? Which substance is oxidized means which is undergo oxidation. Here we know hydrogen is undergo oxidation, right? So we can call here who is the oxidizing agent? We can call hydrogen is the oxidizing agent. Now then can you say which is the reducing agent? Sorry. Here we can say hydrogen is the substance which is oxidized is hydrogen. Okay, the substance which is oxidized is called what? Hydrogen. And which substance is reduced? Copper oxide. Copper oxide is reducing into copper. So the substance oxidized is hydrogen, substance reduced is copper oxide. Clear? Now the second equation also just say which substance is oxidized and which substance is reduced. Who is undergo oxidation here? Iron undergo oxidation, so iron is oxidized. Now which substance is undergo reduction? H2O. So we can call H2O is what? Reduced. Okay, so in your examination also they will ask which substance is oxidized. Who is undergo oxidation? They are oxidized. And which substance is reduced? Which substance is undergo reduction? They are reduced. Now you know which is the substance oxidized and which is the substance reduced. Okay, the first reaction in which, can you say in this first reaction in which is the substance oxidized? Which is oxidation? H2. In the first one, H2. In the second reaction which is oxidized? Oxidation, iron. Now in the first equation which substance is reduced? Copper oxide. And in the second one which substance is reduced? Reduction, H2. Okay. Now you know in a redox reaction which substance is oxidized, which substance is reduced. Now similarly we have two more points, oxidized, reduced. We have two more terms from the same reaction. Just find out, just find out which is the oxidizing agent. Similarly which is the reducing agent. This 4 is very important. So in a redox reaction, if you are writing a redox reaction, you need to find out which is oxidized, which is reduced, which is the oxidizing agent, which is the reducing agent. Come to the last two. It's very important. What is oxidizing agent and reducing agent? It's very simple. If you know this which is oxidized, we know, look at the first reaction. Copper oxide is undergo reduction, so it is a reduced substance, and hydrogen is undergo oxidation, so it is an oxidizing substance. Listen, the substance which is undergo oxidation, is called what? Reducing agent. What is? the substance which is undergo oxidation. So look at in this reaction, hydrogen is converting into H2. So it is undergo oxidation. So the substance which is undergo oxidation is a reducing agent. So we can say that in the first equation, who is undergo oxidation? Hydrogen. So we can call hydrogen is the reducing agent. Come to the second equation, who is undergo oxidation? Iron. So we can call what? Iron is a reducing agent. Then can we say what is oxidizing agent in the first two equation? How can we define oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent is the substance which is undergo reduction. Who is undergo reduction? CuO. Look at the second equation. Can we say which is the substance undergo reduction? H2O. So it is oxidizing agent, simple. Okay. So one more time I am summarizing this. Listen. The substance which undergo oxidation is the oxidizing, which is oxidizing substance, and the substance which undergo reduction is the reduced substance. Now the substance which undergo oxidation is a reducing agent, and the substance which undergo reduction is an oxidizing agent. And one thing you look at that, always oxidizing agent always will have O. That is a shortcut for memorizing. Always the reagent which have O, that is always an oxidizing agent. Every time oxidizing agent will have O. And reducing agent always like some metals only it will come. Okay, most of the cases it will come like that. So it is a very, very important thing. So what is a redox reaction? It is a reaction which both what oxidation and reduction happening. Both oxidation and reduction happening. Okay, just hold on. And what is oxidizing agent and reducing agent? Oxidizing agent is a substance which undergo reduction, and a reducing agent is a substance which undergo oxidation. Always oxidizing agent have what? Oxygen will be there.